Good morning, ladies. I got to tell you, I was like so excited today to wake up and go for my walk and do my meditation and then like shower and get ready and be like, they wouldn't even know me because I've got makeup on. But I just got too excited and I have an opportunity. Emma's upstairs, so I'm going to seize it. So this morning I got up early and I went out onto the porch and I was just kind of in meditation, and sometimes I just get this like spontaneous urge to write, and it ends up being like a bigger picture message. And so I was doing that today, and it was early, and I texted Chris and said I'm out for a walk in case Emma wakes up. And so next thing you know, I'm writing, and the door opens, and I'm like looking for Chris, and it was Emma. And I'm thinking, that's not safe. It's not safe at all. And so I said, baby, are you supposed to come outside without mommy or daddy? And because she didn't know I was out there. And then I had to stop for a second. And I realized baby girl did not think about her safety. She didn't think about stopping for breakfast. She didn't think about having to be stuck in her bed because of, mommy's not here. I don't know where she is. No. She just went to find me because she knew where her creator was. And what a powerful thing when we hear over and over that we're to enter our lives and enter the kingdom as children, not holding on to the attachments of the world, not holding on to what we've been taught, not holding on to safety things, not holding on to these things that are truly of the world. So today's message is all about having those heavenly eyes and understanding the conflicts better in our life. And I'm going to try to make this short, you guys, so I can just do it in a one-time send. So these things were just coming in, so hopefully they resonate with you as much as they did with me. But our soul is currently having a very temporary human experience to fulfill a very powerful purpose on earth. And to know and love God, who also resides inside of us more than the world, and to experience life on earth, and to like actually experience life of earth, and to be able to recognize that the world holds things like anger, stuff, jobs, pride, guilt, fear, division, and judgment, and that anything that divides us as humans is of the earth, or separates us, or if it separates us from peace. So these are all things that are of the earth and not of our purpose. And so we've incarnated into this lifetime on this earth to fulfill a much bigger picture purpose. And so a lot of times it'll be something that you already know. And I'll get into that in a second. But how do we prevent that worldly temptation in our lives, and how do we maintain peace? And I was like, well, what would Jesus do? And what Jesus did is he showed us how to live a life, and he really came here to show us how to live and to show us what it meant to live and detach from the world and to live in love every single day. And that truly was the example that he was setting, showing us you can have the same thing. I'm lifting this veil for you. I'm lifting the veil between earth and heaven so that you're able to live as one with your ascended self and with God, and have that power within you. And so he came and lived out a purpose and a life of service and spread his light while meeting a need in the world. And he was very intentional about his prayer and spiritual practices, and over and over just taught us how to live. So monitoring your thoughts and connecting with other people who are doing the same thing. I think that's such a big one, because the enemy and that darkness wants us separated and isolated so that he can get in our head and get in our space and make us believe that we're less than, or we need something more than just love. But it's not true. Turn off technology and connect. And almost always the enemy is going to use the people and the issues that are the closest to us, because it's personal and it's going to affect our daily life. And the enemy desperately wants to shut down your light, especially if you're on a path like this. Ooh, we got a fly flying by. And so be aware. This is such a huge thing that is just so challenging no matter where you are in your spiritual path. But being aware that the people are not the issue. It's always something spiritual. It's not the person. We can't blame the person for their behavior because they don't know any better. They don't. They're stuck in a place in their life and believe that anger is the answer and fear is the answer, or that bringing you down is the answer, but that's not even them. That's the spiritual aspect of it. And there's something in it. You can even say, oh, they're demonized. No, you're the one that's being affected. So how are we monitoring our own reactions to things? And so how do we prevent that? We get smart and spiritual and not angry. And there's a story about I believe a Buddhist monk who was accused of, I think, raping a 14-year-old girl. And I don't know if this is a fable or a true story, but we can look this up. And was just so enlightened here on earth. And in response to any accusation, in response to anything, he would just say, is that so? He didn't have to defend himself. He didn't have to do anything. And so he ended up raising this little child, I guess. And eventually the girl came back because she was so ridden with guilt and carrying this guilt of accusing him of something he didn't do, and had this baby out there. And so how often are we able to just say, is that so? When it's affecting so many other elements of our life and hurting us in so many ways, and we carry that, and it's hard to detach from that. So here's some scriptural references. 1 John 5:19 is, we are children of God, and the whole world is under the control of the evil one. So opening our eyes to that. I love this. Romans 12:1 and 2 is, therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in the view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God, and this is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, and then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. So if you're emotionally attached to the worldly issues, including religion and who is right, then you're welcoming in and hosting a place for the enemy to stay. Very literally, hosting a place. If you're feeling that division between people, instead of just aiming high, I always say this, man, aim high in steering. Aim higher. If you're attached to something that's in front of you and it's bringing you to a place that you know is not right, or it's not you, if it's not love and peace, that does not belong to you. So what is it? Where is it coming from? And how do we get rid of it? And it's always going to be aim higher, pan out, see the bigger picture. Is this affecting me, the whole world? Is it like a distraction stopping me from living my purpose and loving people more and just looking at love? This is another reason that entering a different place other than your immediate surroundings, you already know these people, you already expect things out of them. Whereas if you go to a new place, like, I don't care what you did. I see you for the situation you're in, needing a resource. And just with what's going on in your life as a situation, and possibly I have a resource or something to help you, but I sure know I'm going to pray for you, and I am detached from that. And so that's why it's easier a lot of times to just move on. And Jesus talked a lot about that too, is leave your family, leave your friends, leave your kids, leave your wife, leave everything behind if it means fulfilling this earthly purpose, this purpose here on this earth. That's for Ephesians 6:12, our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of the dark world and spiritual forces of evil. So just in every moment, every circumstance, like I said, don't watch the news. Just get the news out of your life, because it's fear-driven, and fear is not God, period. Fear is not God. People can try to twist it in any way they will. But you are the light of the world. That's in all over the Bible, but Matthew 5:13 through 16. And you're going to be used to go out and love the world more, right? And so if you've got something big going on in your life right now that you're just feeling divided in, y'all, you're a threat. That's a compliment. That's a beautiful thing. But also it means you have a bigger responsibility in controlling your thoughts and your actions. So if somebody in your life is hurting you in peace, look at it through heavenly eyes, allow your heart to break for them and accept them as they are, and surround yourself with other people who are on a similar spiritual journey. So if I can only control me and myself, instead of pointing at them, change your words to what you're struggling with, and that will help you identify with how to get out of that and how to shed that layer that's dividing you from love. And so wording instead, I'm really struggling with allowing myself to move on, or I have a hard time detaching from their behavior or energy. And yay! I got through it all. There was quite a bit more I can say, but I love you and have a beautiful day, and I'm praying for you. Wow.